It's going to be a wild one. As if the last solar eclipse we had, conjunctive Venus Cazimi, wasn't weird enough, this eclipse coming up on November 8th, it's a lunar eclipse, is also very strange. So let's break it down. This eclipse is happening at 16 degrees and 0 minutes, and it is exactly conjunct to the degree of Uranus. So we've got this lunar eclipse at 16 Taurus, and it is exactly conjunct 16 degrees Uranus and 56 minutes. So this is a really, really unpredictable eclipse that we've got on the menu. All eclipses are inherently unpredictable. What they are is they are catalysts for change. And the way that you and I would normally go about affecting change in our lives usually takes a little bit more time to flesh itself out. But these eclipses are like, no, like it is like a page turner. It is catalytic. It is quick. It rips the rug out from under us. And all of a sudden the terrain is changed. So even if this is not happening directly on one of your own planets, it is happening in the charts of those around us. And the world is rearranging. Scripts are flipping, situations are changing, and change is happening quickly. Uranus is very much of the same nature of what these eclipses can do. Uranus is sudden change, breakthroughs, breakdowns, breakups. Uranus is all of these things. It's excitement. But the biggest thing that I'm thinking about with this eclipse is these Promethean tendencies. And we know that Prometheus was a divine rule breaker, okay? Zeus said, no, you cannot give fire to the humans. And Prometheus was like, watch me. And what concerns me, and I'm all for challenging the status quo, right? But what concerns me is that this is on election day for us in the United States. And we have all these people sort of taking democracy into their own hands and wanting to find loopholes in the democratic voting process. And so I expect that we're going to see some extreme Promethean embodiments on this day. We're going to see people breaking the rules. We're going to see people doing the unthinkable, doing things that are really wild. And even though we haven't gotten to this eclipse yet, we feel it coming in beforehand. And we just saw someone go into the home of Nancy Pelosi and attack her husband. They were looking for her, but that's wild, that's unhinged, and that is Uranian right there. So we see like good Uranus, we see bad Uranus. That not so good. So yeah, on the world stage, we're going to see some wild things happen. This is a wild card energy. Expect the unexpected. This is like a supercharged lunar eclipse where, yeah, anything can happen. But on a personal level, I'm expecting just major breakthroughs to occur, because that's what lunar eclipses will often do, is they will shift our perspective in a radical way where we can't look at something the same anymore. And it's on us to respond. So this is going to be just like major catalytic breakthroughs for all of us. We're going to continue to see these themes around resources. We're going to, with the axis on Taurus and Scorpio, we're going to continue to see that. We've been seeing themes on like gas and food and all these things. We're going to continue to see probably big swings financially. That's what this is doing. Uranus on that North Node has just been creating financial extremes. So we can expect to see that as well. Another thing is just what these eclipses are doing with Uranus is they're taking the things that are the most stable in our lives and making them less stable, making them less predictable. So the things that are the most steady and stable, we might see some changes and developments there. So the other weird thing about this eclipse is that we have a Mercury Cazimi happening just minutes after. So we have like a Mercury Cazimi eclipse happening. Mercury Cazimi is also really powerful for realizations. So I think this one is going to be a lot happening internally. There definitely will be external events that are like WTF with Uranus there, but a lot of it is going to be like, whoa. With this Mercury Cazimi piercing clarity. I think of like Mercury in Scorpio as just like a researcher, like an archivist, like someone who can find out the data, like someone who is dead set on finding out the information. So we're going to have that energy available to us. It's very resourceful. So what we do when we get this big breakthrough is this Mercury in Scorpio cazimi thing where it's like, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. I'm going to find out everything I can find out about this. So we have that going on. The third layer here, well, obviously this is encompassing the Saturn-Uranus square. Saturn is squaring it. We've talked so much about that, especially this week. So that is involved. But the final important layer here is that this eclipse in Taurus is ruled by a Venus in detriment in Scorpio. So we're seeing this continuation of themes. I've talked a lot about this here, especially with the solar eclipse conjunct Venus video and women, and how Venus represents sexual autonomy and how Venus represents reproductive autonomy. So yeah, anyone who this would affect women, this would affect non-binary, this would affect trans people. So yes, we are still seeing those concerns as very front and center. And this eclipse axis on Taurus Scorpio, it's a very sensual axis. So we are seeing big themes around our sensuality, our autonomy over our sexuality. And I expect, because this is on election day, key issues, abortion is like the number one issue on the ballot this year. So yeah, this is going to be pretty big. I have no expectations going into how this is all going to pan out, but seeing Venus in detriment, I think, is informing, the urgent nature of this eclipse. When we have Uranus here, it feels like urgent, like we have to do something to change the system. We have to do something about the change. And the thing that gives me hope is that the Saturn-Uranus square, change is imminent. Like evolution is imminent. This is it, like we have to evolve. So yeah, I'm hopeful that no matter how things turn out, it's ultimately part of our human evolution and our journey toward becoming, in my idealist sort of hopeful way, like people who can be technologically advanced, like a species that can be technologically advanced, but also live in harmony with the earth. It's ironic to me that the way that we're treating the planet at like one of the most critical times for our survival is how we're treating women and people with uteruses on this planet. It's just interesting to me, and also horrifying. But anyways, I hope that the big breakthroughs that this eclipse facilitates are ultimately liberating for you. That's one of the biggest key terms with this eclipse conjunct Uranus is liberation, freedom, sovereignty, evolution. So I hope it serves you in the highest. And I hope it serves us in the highest too. And that is your astrology shot of the day. Bye. Thanks for tuning in with me today. For more astrology in your world, you can connect with me on all platforms at Astro Catherine. You can also find me at catherineurban.com, where you can book your one-on-one consultation and get insights for your chart for the year ahead.